So let's continue on with our WordPress theme. We have several pages here at the top up in the main navigation. If I were to click one of these, it wouldn't open anything. You can see it's trying to open a URL here, but the page actually isn't changing. So what we're going to do is create all these pages. Looks like we need a about page, portfolio, blog, and contact. I'm going to make these pages really quick. So let's create an about page. We'll just publish it. And then why don't we go ahead and switch over to our theme and find about.html, and I'll rename it to about.php. And up at the top, I'm just going to open up a PHP tag, and I'll create a comment, template name, and this is the format for creating a template in WordPress with PHP. You have to have a comment, and it has to say template name. We'll call this about, and then I'll save that. When I switch back here, you just click update. You'll see that our template is an option now under the drop down. Let's update it again. And now we'll view our page, and we can see everything is broken here. And that is because all of our work that we did before, including all the style sheets and JavaScript, was only done on the index.php file. So with our new template, we'll need to do the same, only we're not going to go through and just copy the header code and the footer code to this page. Instead, we'll break up the header and footer into their own files. But before we do that, why don't we go ahead and create the templates for all of our pages. That's right, I need to rename this to PHP first so I can get my syntax highlighting up. Now the blog page is actually, let me just undo what I changed. The blog page is going to come up again later when we get to our actual blog feed on the page, and as well as the file name may change. Like I said, we'll get to that later. For now, let's just create a template so that we can view a blog page within our theme, within WordPress. So I'll just call this blog. And really quickly, I'm going to do the same thing for contact and portfolio. Copy this, paste it over here, change this to contact, and then save it. And then finally, we'll do the same for our portfolio. And this is another one that I'd like to talk about later, because a portfolio is actually a post type, and we can create a custom post type for that. And portfolio, just like that. Looks like I got all of them. I'll just save all and then switch back to WordPress, hit the back button, and let's create new pages. Let's see, we had blog, and we want to use the blog template. I'll publish that. And we had contact. Switch to the contact template. I'll publish that. And portfolio. And I'll assign that the right template. Publish it as well. And as we've seen before, our page is going to be broken. We need the style sheet and the JavaScript. So let's get to that. To include our header and footer into each page, we'll first need to create a header file. So I'm going to right click on my folder and hit new file. And the first one we'll do is header.php. And I'll go to my index file, and I believe, let's take a look at the site with CSS. We'll look at the code. Okay, so we've got site content, header, and then beneath site content we have footer. So I'm going to take everything from the opening of the header tag. Right, that sounds good for now. From the the closing of the header tag and above, like that. Just cut it out, and then in the header, I'll paste it over here. I'm going to save it, and back on my index.php file, I'm going to open up a PHP block and use the function getHeader. Now getHeader is one of those functions that can take in a parameter, and if I was using a theme or a website that had a different type of header and I needed one, maybe a let's say our portfolio had a different header, we would need to create a file called header-portfolio and include that. For now though, since we only have one header type, we'll just stick to getHeader. What I'll also do is create a template for the home page. And I'll just call this one home. And I'll save that. And I'm going to copy this function into all of my other templates while removing header code, just like that. And now we'll need to do the same for our other pages. Paste it in there, save it, and we also have the portfolio. Remove everything from the closing header tag up to the doc type, just to be safe. I'll save all. So refresh my page, nothing broke. Why don't we check out our other pages to see if they're at least including the style sheet. And they are. You can see we have some broken images. We'll get to that. Check out blog, contact, portfolio, and sample page. Everything looks good. So really quickly, to close out this video, we'll do the same thing for the footer. Now I believe we need to take everything within the footer tag and the closing tag of our site content div. So everything from the opening of the footer we'll need to cut out. And the function we'll need to use is getFooter. Just like the header, you could pass in a variable name and include a different type of file. May as well create the file, footer.php. And one thing I forgot to mention about header is that like the footer file, it has to be named this way. WordPress has something called a template hierarchy and other standards that require you to name your PHP files a certain way. I'll paste this here and save it, and it's good to close. I'll also close the header for now. Portfolio page is good. I'll save that and close it, and remove everything from the closing body tag to the opening footer. And again, we'll need to get the footer. Close it with a semicolon, save it and close the file. Do the same for my blog. Save that. Also for the about. Save it and close. And finally, for the home page. I'll save that. Give it a quick refresh just to make sure nothing's broken. And we're good. Looks like our admin bar is gone. Let's find out what the problem is. Looks like all my JavaScript errors are back. So let me check my footer file. Oh, right, because I copied the footer from portfolio and not the home page. So I can remove all of this JavaScript. Also, my admin bar went away because WP underscore footer. I need to add this function back. And when I save that and refresh, the error should go away and my admin bar should come back.